Give yourselves up.
You stolen property of the United States government. Come out peacefully and tell us everything we want to know, or you will be locked up and tried for treason.
And there is no way you are going to homecoming.
But Dad!
Not another word, young lady. I want you to get into this bulletproof Humvee this minute, and I want you to think about what you've done.
I love that the Canadian is saying United States government.
Right.
Hey, Val. Hey, Al. Hey, Mallory. Hey, Evan.
Hey.
Welcome to D-Commentaries. Thank you. Welcome to you. Welcome to our listeners. And welcome to our special guests, Mallory and Evan. Yay.
Hello. We're jazzed to
Yeah. I felt a little bad wooing for myself.
No. Please.
Shouldn't have done that.
Always
Shouldn't have done
woo.
that.
Yeah.
Always woo for yourself.
Celebrate yourself. And also tell our listeners about yourself. Who are you guys?
Who are we? Mallory, tell them about our podcast, because you do all of the stuff when we do our podcast.
I do. You think I'd have it down by now. We'll see how this goes. So we are Mallory and Evan. We are the co-hosts of the Pop Capsule podcast. Each week we go back 10 and 20 years ago to look at the top pop culture moments. So for example, right now we're looking at things in 2005 and 2015. We talk about TV. We talk about music. We talk about movies. We talk about weird red carpet moments. We kind of have a little smorgasbord of everything. Occasionally we had a DCOM on there, which is how we connected with you folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're best friends from high school who are at this point stuck with each other. So
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And Canadian, and you will hear it in the way we talk, and we're
so
sorry,
sorry.
but not sorry.
We're so sorry.
We're sorry.
So sorry.
I'm sure our listeners are happy to have us switched up from our super Chicago accent that we deliver every week.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. So today we are talking about how to build a better boy.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to have Mallory and Evan on this episode because we talked about how to build a better boy on their podcast not too long ago. Yeah.
That's right. Last year, every summer we do Guestapalooza, where we bring on a bunch of friends from other podcasts to talk about topics that are near and dear to them. And we were like, we have a double DCOM week in the summer. We have to have a DCOM podcast on. So we have to have D-Commentaries on to talk about these DCOMs. That's the most I think I've said DCOMs in one sentence ever in my life.
Welcome to the club.
It worked.
Yeah, we had a blast talking about how to build a better boy and Tiger Cruise, right?
Yes.
Those were the two. Yeah. So since we'd already done Tiger Cruise, obviously we had to have these two on for this episode. So we're very excited to be talking about how to build a better boy. Great. Should we just dive right into the business?
For sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let us do it. So How to Build a Better Boy came out August 15th, 2014, which is interesting because it's only 2 months after the previous one. So I was completely wrong when I was like, oh, they're moving to a 2 movie a year.
You
cadence.
are. I just re-listened to that back, Val. You are wrong.
I was very wrong, and I'm willing to admit that.
And that's why we love you.
Thank you. I also found it interesting, like, not to say those two movies are the same, but like there's enough similarity between Zapped and How to Build a Better Boy that I'm like kind of surprised that they were released so close together. Very interesting.
Have you guys seen the movie Zapped?
It's a Zendaya one, right?
I have not seen the Zendaya vehicle Zapped.
Yeah.
Don't.
Okay. Yeah, don't. Actually, listen to our episode, but skip over the synopsis too. Even still.
Perfect.
Even still, you don't want to listen to the movie.
Was Disney in 2014 just like, man, all the kids love sci-fi?
Maybe.
We gotta double down.
It could be.
Good point.
I think maybe they saw like the no strings attached, just friends, like combo, like these rom-coms at the same time. They're like, that's the move. We just do two. If we put two out at the same time, one of them will be good.
Exactly. I feel like that is like people do get like accidentally locked into that, but usually it's not the same network.
Yeah.
2 months apart. But the only other movie that came out in 2014 so far, at least, is Cloud9, which was very grounded and not sci-fi at all. So I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but it is interesting. They're kind of similar. How to Build a Better Boy was directed by none other than Paul Hohen.
Oh, there he is.
Yep, the DCOM master. For those who may not know or may not remember, he also directed Luck of the Irish, True Confessions, You Wish, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, Read It and Weep, Cheetah Girls One World, Dad Napped, Camp Rock 2, Let It Shine, Cloud 9, and Zombies 1 through 3, and probably other ones, because every single time we find out that he directed another one of these, I didn't know.
Val didn't realize it was a decom.
Right.
Fair. He also directed one of the best decoms, which is Jump In.
That's right.
The
Yes,
Corbin
he
Blue
did.
vehicle.
How did I miss that one?
We do like jumped in this home.
Oh,
We do. We are a jump
like
in
the idea of
household.
being like, you know what, getting punched in the face, not for me, Dad. You know what is? Skipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parkouring
Jump
down an
to
alley
the
for
rhythm
absolutely
and
no reason
dance
whatsoever.
to the music.
There's a scene in that movie that I will never forget where he just like parkours out the door of his house and his sister is just like, the hell happened?
Okay, well now I'm gonna derail already because I like you guys so much, and we're in the business, but the business is all of us. What are your favorite decoms?
Oh,
If you can pick.
Mallory,
Love
you
this.
go first.
love this question. Gotta Kick It Up
Ah.
and Double Teamed are
The
my
classics.
are my
The
two
classics.
favorites.
That
Um,
is
choices.
good. That's not what I thought you were going to say. I knew Gotta Kick It Up was on there. I thought you had more of a soft spot for Cadet Kelly when we talked about it.
I do love Cadet
Mm.
Kelly. I would probably still reach for those other two over Cadet Kelly.
Wow.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's something about Gotta Kick It Up that like caught me at the right time, and I remember that was where I first saw Susan Egan. And like hadn't put together that she was in
Oh.
Hercules, hadn't put together that she was this big like Broadway star.
Mhm.
And so when I figured that out, I was like, the Gotta Kick It Up lady made it to Broadway. Good for her.
Like you were rooting for her.
The
Yeah.
decom to Broadway trajectory.
Yeah, just her and her Laducas in like a southern United States high school. I was like, oh no.
That's so funny. We could also say that about Roger Bart, which we'll get to in a little
That's
bit
true.
today.
Mine is it's Full Court Miracle, which is just
Oh,
Fuck me.
you're
Of course
speaking to
it-
Val's heart.
any sort of sport decom hits me where I live. Like even Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, even though I fundamentally disagree with the idea that a hot dog can make someone want to pursue the culinary arts. I don't care how good a hot dog is.
You don't live in Chicago.
See, that is the exception. That is the exception to the rule. And then the other one is genuinely Jump In. I remember
Wow.
thinking I was too old to watch Jump In, but you know, when you still watch cartoons as a teenager and you were like, I'm just going to make sure no one knows about it. I watched Jump In and I loved it so much. And I was like, I can't talk to anyone about this.
Oh.
So I was 15 and I was like, I'm going to get punched if I talk about it. Did you guys see the skipping movie?
This does explain that phase in high school when Evan just like couldn't shut up about skipping. He was like
Parkouring
trying
out
to
of doors.
He was just like trying to drop hints. He's like, "Hey guys, what are we doing tonight? We could like go to the movies. We could hang out. We could maybe I got these ropes here if anyone wants to like double dutch."
Man, missed opportunity to have you on the Jump In episode.
Truly, we did.
That's me where I live.
We do
That's-
love Full Court Miracle, though. Yes,
Oh.
yes.
I had never seen it, and when we watched it, I was like, "This is so great! This is
It's-
delightful."
I'm embarrassed at how long that was my only source of information about Hanukkah.
I mean, I feel like the vast majority of people like our age, their primary source of information about Judaism is Rugrats.
It's there's like a triangle and it's like Full Court Miracle, Rugrats, and 8 Crazy Nights by Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
That's mine.
you learned Judaism from one of these 3.
I do have a quick question with that movie, if I may.
Yeah.
I know
Eight Crazy Nights?
I'm really getting us off. No, A Full Court Miracle.
Yeah.
Oh.
If I say, oh yeah, the Philadelphia cream cheese ladies in that movie, do you know who I'm talking about?
Is it the old
Or is that
lady
a
in the
Canada
office?
thing? No.
Oh.
Evan, is that a Canadian thing?
It's 100% a Canadian thing.
Okay.
I
His
don't know.
mom.
I don't remember because I told Val this on a couple episodes ago. We will watch a movie and then I will forget that I have watched it.
Yes.
So I can't remember.
The mom in Full Court Miracle was in a series of Philadelphia cream cheese ads that I guess were just in Canada. But like she was like the Flo from Progressive for Philadelphia cream cheese.
So, and When we say Philadelphia cream cheese, do you even have Philadelphia cream cheese?
Oh, yes.
It is the
Okay.
go-to.
Because there is a weird tendency in Canada to just name things after American cities, even though they have nothing to do with it. We have a very popular restaurant chain called Boston Pizza. Boston, not known for pizzas, but it's just called Boston Pizza. We do this all the time.
That's so interesting.
We're like,
But
put a cool American name on it, and then it'll be popular.
Wow. No, I would say Philadelphia is the cream cheese of choice in most households in America.
All of these ads, she was like dressed as an angel, and she's talking about how like light and airy Philadelphia cream cheese spread is, and how it like, I keep wanting to say like it gives you wings, but that's definitely Red Bull.
No, but it was just her surrounded by like hunky angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can you let me know if Canada posts a casting for a new Philadelphia cream cheese lady? Because I'd like to throw my hat in the ring.
They did like not long ago. They were trying to get another
Mallory.
100%.
I got to do some research.
Get your passport in order.
It was another real Susan Egan moment, though, where I was like, the Philadelphia cream cheese lady does acting.
Well, and it makes sense because a lot of these movies are filmed in Vancouver or Toronto. So
it's true. It's true. Interesting.
Okay.
Well,
now we can get back on track. Choo-choo.
We got through the director.
So sorry.
Well, now, and also, I would just like to say, now you actually know a Jewish person. So if you ever have any questions, you don't have to just reference Paul Cornby.
Krusty on Simpsons. How accurate is the portrayal?
100%.
I guess I didn't share this when we did ours before. I watched that movie a lot growing up, and then one of my brother's friends was over, and he had been working on a theater production of Annie, where he was like translating all the songs into Hebrew because it was for like a Hebrew camp.
Whoa!
And my mom just goes, "Oh, Mallory knows some Hebrew songs," referring to like the things they sing at Hanukkah from this movie. And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's Show Michael," and I was like, "Nope." Nope.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
That's really good. So you're really the authority, not me.
Please no. Please no.
Amazing. Well, so yeah, Paul Hohen was the director of this movie. It was written by Jason Mayland, who did not write any other DCOMs, and he didn't have a ton of credits in general, but he wrote on something called Space Chimps, and then more recently, he's written some episodes of a kids show called Eureka.
Oh, that I know exists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's still working, but it's kind of sparse.
I figured it would be sparse considering he doesn't have the blue link on Wikipedia. He doesn't have his own little page.
Yep. That's how you know.
Sending you strength, sir. Sorry about your blue link.
I think he did a good job. So, and some of the people who've written like a bajillion DCOMs, I don't feel that way about. So good for him. The cast is as follows. China Ann McClain played Gabby Harrison. She was on the Disney show Ant Farm. She was, I believe, a lead in that. She's more recently been in all the Descendants movies, I called it the Descendants verse because there's like so many things now. She was also on the show Black Lightning and House of Pain. Mm-hmm. Which I saw like had a recent credit, but like also started in 2006. So did they do like a reboot, but like it's the same show? Like kind of like
what is it again?
House of Pain. They definitely did. So the 6th season ended in 2012 on TBS and then was brought back in 2020 on BET.
Huh. Well, there you go.
A little 8-year gap.
Yeah, she was on it the whole time. So she must be a lead. Kelly Berglund played May Hartley. She was in a Disney show called Lab Rats. More recently, she was on The Goldbergs. And even more recently, she was on a show called Heels, which I had never heard of, but she's in a bunch of episodes of it.
It is a wrestling show.
Really? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I say this because I'm a huge wrestling nerd. So
nice.
Yeah.
In another life, I think that I would make a great WWE performer.
You would.
As a 5'10" human specimen, I think I'd be a great WWE performer.
And having seen you perform, especially as like a host or like those kinds of things, 100% you would crush.
Fun fact, Evan is a huge wrestling fan, and he learned everything that he knows from watching Going to the Mat.
My secret's revealed.
Incredible.
Oh my God, big Andy Lawrence fan.
Big Andy Lawrence fan.
Marshall Williams played Albert Banks / X17. He was on Glee. I don't actually remember who he was on Glee, but I watched Glee, so I probably have seen.
He was on like the very last season, so
okay.
you might have stopped watching.
Blocked it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely watched it, but I was like, He was in a show called When Hope Calls, and he's been in like a lot of Hallmarky, Christmassy kind of sounding movies more recently, which definitely makes sense with his face.
And Evan, he's Canadian.
Oh,
from Winnipeg.
Oh, from Manitoba.
From Manitoba.
Wow.
Manitoba.
Very
Yeah.
impressive.
Wow. I wonder if that was a joke, like a Easter egg when they were like, so nice, he's almost Canadian.
Right.
When she was like
that's
describing
true.
him. I
Yeah.
wonder if that was like a wink. Okay, Matt Shively played Bart Hartley, which is such a good name.
Mhm.
He was on True Jackson VP, which I think that was a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
Yes. He was in something called Winx Club, which may have been an animated show. I'm not sure. He was on The Real O'Neills. I didn't know this was even a television show, but he was in the Purge television show. Something called American Housewife, something called Total Badass Wrestling, Players, and most recently Lopez vs. Lopez.
He was also on a show called Smilf. So
Smilf.
Thank you for
Smilf.
mentioning that one.
Yeah. I don't know what the show is. I can surmise. Maybe that's what the S stands for.
Smurfs, I'd like to have friendship with.
I'd like to friend.
Ashley Argota Torres played Nevaeh Barnes, heaven spelled backwards. She was also on True Jackson VP. She was in Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures. She was also in Lab Rats. And more recently, she was on The Fosters. First evil mean girl in a while who I actually found funny.
She was so over the top.
Yeah.
She was. But we have watched a string of movies with awful mean girls, and they are meant to be funny at certain points, and they are not at all. They're terrible. So I was relieved that she actually had some comedic timing.
Tell us how you really feel, Val.
Oh, I will. Noah Centineo played Jaden Stark. He was like the football bro who May tutors at the beginning and watches play football for the rest of the movie. He was in To All the Boys I've Loved Before. He was also on The Fosters. He was in something called Tagged. He was in the movie Black Adam with The Rock. And he was more recently in something called The Recruit, which I had not heard of.
And it is rumored that he's currently dating Zoe Kravitz.
Really?
Post
Interesting.
Channing Tatum breakup. It is rumored that they are dating.
Wow. Interesting. Good for him.
And that's your pop capsule
Yeah.
comment for the day.
We'll get back to that one in a couple of years.
Yeah, we can't talk about it for 10 more years.
sorry.
Ron Lee played General McPhee. He is a very long time character actor. I think his first credit was in like 1967 or something like that. Some notables or things that he was on for a while: Street Legal, Wind at My Back, Doc, Orphan Black, and his most recent credit was Murdoch Mysteries, which we always have to mention.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, all of these shows are huge. Like, I remember like my parents talking about and watching Wind at My Back. You couldn't get more Canadian than a show where they're like, what do the people want to watch? A show about 1930s Great Depression era Northern Ontario. Yeah, let's do that. And it lasted like 5 seasons.
Wow.
Pretty huge.
amazing.
And like a lot of big like Canadian acting names in there. But yeah, Murdoch Mysteries, that's like
That's our Law and Order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we keep Canadian actors like when we don't know what else to do with them, we just put them on Murdoch Mysteries. We're like, okay, you stay busy, you play here, and then when we have a movie to do, we'll get you.
Like
we'll come get you.
Like Appa from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been parked on Murdoch Mysteries for a couple seasons after Star Wars.
Amazing. Yeah, we always note Murdoch because it's always there. Like, especially if they film in Canada, but even sometimes when they don't, it's just always there. So yeah, we got one. Okay, and finally, Roger Bart played Dr. James Hartley, and he also is a pretty prolific character actor. He was on something called Bram and Alice. He is the singing voice of Hercules in the movie. So there's our both Hercules connection and also Broadway guy thing. He is in the producer's movie because he originated his role in the producers in the Broadway show. He was in American Gangster, The Event, Desperate Housewives, Political Animals, Easy to Assemble, Revenge, Trumbo, Episodes, Graves, and Good Trouble. And that's just some notable ones. He works a lot, and he's also a Broadway actor, so he works a lot.
Yeah.
And he's funny. I like him.
It's totally mind-blowing to think that somebody won a Tony Award for playing Snoopy. But he did it.
He did.
That's range.
Can you imagine? Like, I know he's a man. It's not like you were beaten by a dog. This isn't an Air Bud Tony situation. But, like, can you imagine sitting at the Tonys that year and be like, wow, my character lost to a man playing Snoopy.
Not an Air Bud Tony's moment.
He's currently, or was very recently, in Back to the Future. That was like his more recent Broadway thing. He played
which I saw on tour, and I am not sorry about it. I did not like it.
Wow. Amazing. All right, let's do the synopsis.
Oh, sorry, I was like already, but you're talking about the other synopsis.
Yeah, I'm going to read the synopsis that I got off of the internet, and
I know how we do this.
In case you guys don't know or don't remember, I don't read this before I copy and paste it and read it right now. So we're all surprised together. Two tech-savvy teenagers unknowingly use military software to program robotic boyfriends, plural, with ideal qualities when they grow tired of the high school boys around them. Nope. Not even close.
Not quite.
Yeah, sort of not at all.
Did they cut a whole boyfriend?
Apparently. And also, they're not tired of the boys around them. They just, one of them's not even interested in boys.
Yeah.
And that's a very inaccurate synopsis, but that's not unusual.
It makes it sound like they were like, oh, these boys around us are so boring. You know, it wouldn't be whatever the government's hiding.
Right. Seriously. Cool. And then the only fun fact, I kind of alluded to it, but the woman who played Nevaeh and the guy who played Bart were co-stars on the Nickelodeon show True Jackson VP. So I don't even know if they are in a single scene together in this movie, but they were co-stars on True Jackson VP.
Nice. I bet you they were very happy to have one another on set.
Sure. Why not? Especially
unless they hated each other. Then they were like, don't put me in a scene with them.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. Well, business is done. Let's rock and roll. Let's start with you, Mallory. What were your first well, first of all, had you seen this movie before? We know the answer to this, but how many times have you seen this movie before? What were your first impressions the first time you saw this movie, if you can remember? And then what were your impressions this time?
So this is my second time watching this movie. The first time being for our podcast. And I actually don't think I watched it all the way through that first time. I think I watched it. I was like, I've seen enough. But I did do a proper job for you folks. First impressions of watching it then were, I just try to imagine the pitch room where someone was like, man, high school girls meets like Pentagon government secrets. And they were like, yes, write it, send it immediately. My impression watching it this time was a little bit more of like, no one who's ever written a movie about high school students has ever seen a high school and high school students.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, whoever cast this movie, not good at knowing how old people are. Whoever dressed this movie does not know how teenagers dress. And just like, I get that you're trying to show like everything's a little more done up. The high school's a little more done up. The people are a little more done up. But like, to me, it's to the point. I'm like, there's no school. Like, the robot is the most realistic part of this movie. I'm like, she would not wear a pink blazer with turquoise trim and not get mercilessly made fun of.
In 2014. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
It's
Amazing.
like, but we see that in a lot of things. It's the Grease effect where they were like,
Sure.
yeah, Stockard Channing's 14. That's fine. Totally. The man who plays Kaneki is not an AARP member.
Hey, some of us are AARP members in our 30s.
Hey,
You could do
it's
that?
got good. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you
join.
can join at like 26. I did it so that I could get discount on Universal tickets.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Ah.
AAA or like those kind of things. You can just yeah.
Evan, we gotta
And
jump in on
I'm
Carp.
getting a rental car in Napa Valley for only $280.
Oh,
Wow.
We
shit.
do got to get in on Carp. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Kaneki knew what he was doing.
Yeah, do it.
Not a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
with that.
And
Correct.
he knew what he was.
Incredible. All right, Evan. What about you?
I believe I watched this movie at the exact same time that Mallory did when you folks were joining.
Mhm.
And my first impression then, and I could not get over it, and I honestly still didn't get over it the entire time watching this time. I was like, who would name a pretend boyfriend Albert? Now,
Oh.
I understand Al's. Al's are cool. Albert, a little different.
You were
think
the
she
shout
was-
out.
I think she was thinking of Einstein because it was sort of like a spur of the moment, like, and his name is Albert. You know, like she just sort of. Bleh.
But like of all the like hot guy idols for you
Yeah.
to draw upon.
I think that was kind of the point because it's Gabby who says his name,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
think
that's
like Gabby
right. It is
not
Gabby.
really like thinking about boys, right? Like she's
She's
just
like,
kind of
who's the man I think of
Right.
most? Albert.
Exactly.
My boy Albie.
my
But
boy.
I love it because this hunk shows up and they're like, yeah,
Yep, Albert.
for sure. Albert, no
Yeah.
notes.
I love it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, the whole like every shot of the high school. I'm like, again, nobody's ever seen a high school before.
No.
This is crazy.
It looks like a corporate campus to me. Like,
yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Like,
It's
I feel
just
like you
this,
should be
big
coding
glass- Yeah, exactly. It's like the Google headquarters. They
Yeah.
just filmed there.
There's no
Yeah.
classrooms, there's just foosball tables.
We all sit on beanbag chairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Al, what about you? First impressions?
Oh, hey Val, thanks. All right, I had seen this movie before once again for the podcast. Now, I remember saying, I liked this movie. Can I take back what I said?
Oh no.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There was something about it on this second viewing that I found really annoying. I found it annoying. And I don't know why. And I really couldn't put my finger on it. I don't know if it was some of the like overactiness, although there were a lot of people who were taking that like decom trope character to a 100, which I love because like, as you guys know, like we direct our improvised decom show. And like when you do those like stereotypical decom characters, they like hit. But there was just something about it where I was like, yeah, I don't like this as much on the second viewing, which is the opposite of some movies I've seen, like Tangled.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't like it the first time I saw it. Now I'm like, oh my God, I could watch Tangled every day of my life. Okay, I think those are all my first impressions of the movie.
Okay.
Val, did you have any first impressions of the movie?
Yeah, thanks, Al. So the first time I watched it, which was for your guys' pod, I enjoyed it. And I can say that I'm in the minority here. I enjoyed it again watching it for today. I get what you guys are saying, like, you know, that it's obviously like unrealistic in a lot of ways. And some people are like playing it really high. But I think that I'm so starved with a lot of the recent decoms that we've watched for people just taking the premise seriously in the movie that I was just so relieved that every single person in this movie is taking the like, as ridiculous as it is, they are playing it like this is their reality and there is no other reality, right? And I really appreciate that. And I feel like I, in other contexts, would find Bart really annoying, but for some reason I love him. Like, I just find him very charming.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his dimples or something, but I really like him.
I thought he was a good cast.
Yeah, I think he has like good chemistry. And I think that everyone who's like meant to be funny in this movie has like reasonably good comedic timing. Like I love the, like, I don't think she was in the cast list that I did, maybe because she hadn't done a ton of stuff, but the like assistant or whatever, like the lieutenant to the general, like I think she's really funny. Like she was, you know, just this kind of side character who's like running around, but she's again taking her stuff really seriously. She has good comedic timing. I think the dad's funny. So yeah, I appreciated this movie both times I watched it. I mean, anything would have been an improvement on Zapped, which was the last movie that we watched.
So true.
So the bar was low, it was on the ground, but we did previous to that watch Cloud 9, which I also really liked. So I would definitely put this way closer. If there's some kind of spectrum between Cloud 9 and Zapped, I would put this way closer to Cloud 9 for me. I enjoyed it, as ridiculous as it was. And actually there's a moment where I wrote a note that was like, as crazy as this entire movie is, the most unrealistic thing to me is the moment when the girls enter the football huddle.
Yes.
I was like, that makes no sense and I hate it so much.
I feel that way about movies sometimes too, Val, where I'm like, yeah, I can get the aliens coming to Earth, but they wouldn't like go to 7-Eleven first.
Right,
you know, like something where you're like, come on, they're going somewhere else. It's like, absolutely. The little things where you're like,
100.
That's the unrealistic part of this movie, not that the robot boyfriend is trying to kiss her at homecoming.
Right,
No.
exactly.
Also, the like side woman in the army, her name is Major Jenks. And this is her like the actress Eva Lukes. This is her last role before she quit acting to become a journalist.
Whoa!
I thought you were going to say she died.
No,
I was like,
this
can't be her last role before she dies.
But
Agent Cody Jenks. This would have been terrible.
Agent Cody Jenks. I know, I said agent.
But that's honestly like both cool and also kind of sad because she is, I think, very good in her
She's
part.
very funny.
So she had a future, but I'm glad she pursued her dreams. That's great.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Still involved in the media.
Yes. Amazing. All right, let's do a round of favorite quotes and moments. Mallory, please kick us off.
We got to call more people hot burgers.
Yep. Yep.
I actually think that's a great little bit of writing because I too have been put on the spot and been like caught in a lie and like, yeah, your brain short circuits. And so this is when Nevaeh's kind of like calling May out and making fun of her and that. And she's like, yeah, my boyfriend, so cute, total hot burger. And then this is where Gabby chimes in. She's like, yeah, a hot burger named Albert. It's just like, I actually thought that was like a really like well-written moment. And I was like, that is how a high school person would talk.
Yes.
That is the situation they would find themselves in. They wouldn't dress like this while they're doing it, but that's 100% authentic. And then the other moment that I really liked was at the homecoming, and it was Noah Centineo's character, and every time Nevaeh was trying to like, you know, ruin things and tear things down, she's like, he's dangerous. He's going, yeah, dangerous. And she's like, no, he's a machine. Yeah, a machine. Like, I love that character because that like that's the kind of person in real life that I'd be drawn to, where you're like, yeah, that's someone who's like, they're having fun, they're not trying to shit on other people, they're here, they're having a good time. So
nice.
I liked both of those very much.
Very cool. All right, Evan, what about you?
There is a moment early on in the movie, I believe it is Gabby who says that sporks are the world's most versatile utensil.
Yep. I wrote that too.
I was just like, yeah, that's 100% correct. And that, like, I think that was the establishing shot where I'm like, oh, these girls are smart. Like I was like, they recognize the value of the spork. Like that's not even just book smarts. That's street smarts. They've got both. Maybe they lack some of the street smarts later in the movie, particularly May. But we'll talk about that. The other one is, of course, Major Jenks. She is asked by the general if she got a description if anyone was a witness to the robot going away. And she says, yes. She said he was a, quote, super cute candy sugar in my eye holes and the honorary mayor of Hunky Town, sir.
Such a good line.
Which is an Instagram bio waiting to happen. Not for me, but for someone.
Yes. And her delivery is so good too. Like
So,
it's just
like,
completely
It's
serious.
so serious. Yeah. But no, those were the two that stood out.
Incredible.
Good.
Al, what about you?
Oh yeah. I got some quotes and moments. So Total Hot Burger, number one. Val mentioned it early on, but he would be super polite, like almost Canadian. Loved that. I loved when they were talking about someone being vegan and they go, but not like a snobby vegan. And everyone just shakes their head.
Oh, yeah. They're all knowing. They're like,
They're all
yes,
like,
of
oh
course.
yeah, not a snobby vegan. And then I know Val has this written down, but when Jenks says, or the general to her is saying, all's fair in love and war. And she goes, I don't know, sir. I've never seen action in either. Very funny. And then my favorite moments are the clap on fountain when the dad sits down and Bart claps on the fountain. And then, which reminds me that my soon-to-be stepmom told me that the Christmas tree this year was clap on, and I was sitting there clapping, and she's just cracking up. And I was like, "Oh, you bitch!"
So good.
And then my favorite person in the movie is the principal. He's dancing, and then he's like, "Meet me by the table, and I'll teach you how to ballroom dance." Like, I absolutely loved him. So Mallory is like attracted to like the people like Noah Centineo, not attracted in personality, in personality.
Yeah,
and I am in personality attracted to the principal.
Yeah, and earlier in the movie, he had Gabby fix his laptop so that he could watch his virtual tango lessons.
Yeah.
And they have this man doing jobs that principals don't. So he is the announcer at the football game too.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I hope he's getting paid.
He's on like the Mr. Feeney where he's like, I'll just show up whenever the kids need me at all things. I'll follow them to college. Like, it's fine.
Also, not to say, Mallory, that you aren't not attracted to Noah Centineo.
Oh, in his current form?
As a 15-year-old.
Yeah. No. Again, just want to clarify a few things here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Val, favorite quotes and moments.
Thanks, Al. So some of them have already been said, obviously. I noticed that at some point someone said, I think it was Gabby's, she said to May, someday we'll blow them all away. And I had to look up to see which came first. This came first. This came first. So,
oh no,
was it stolen? We'll never know.
Lin-Manuel's source material. How to build a better boy.
Could you imagine? It was that like off Broadway version where like Aaron Burr had like a robotic malfunction.
Right.
They were like, wait, he's actually working for the British still? What?
Exactly. You get it. At one point, Nevaeh goes, "Bonjour, ladies."
I said she went to the Inglorious Bastards School of Italian, like of accents.
It's so good.
Bonjour.
That's a good comment.
I do not believe in school-sponsored romantic events. It's just a front for the corsage industry. It's Gabby. When they're filling in like the information in the like form to create Albert, at one point it goes, enter geopolitical allegiance. I don't know, Gryffindor. And what's funny about that joke is that they are smart, right? So it's not like a dumb answer. It's like, she's so smart. She's like, what is this question? Like, just put something stupid in. And I love that because that would have been me. Not that I'm like especially smart, but you know what I mean? Like, that would have been me making a snarky remark like that. When Bart is like with the clap on fountain, when the dad first walks in, he goes, "Welcome home, Pops. How's my favorite role model?" And then later he goes, "How do you feel now?" The dad goes, "Comfortable, suspicious, but comfortable." And then there's a callback. Well, wait, first of all, there's a line that says, "You can't hurry love, General. I can and I will."
This general is very results oriented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Unsurprisingly. So there's a callback at the beginning of the movie. Gabby says, "May, have you ever heard a story about a girl who met a boy and then changed the world?" No, because there isn't one. And then at the end of the movie, she says, "May, have you ever heard a story of a girl who met a boy and changed the world? Turns out it was you."
So wholesome.
I love a callback.
It undercuts the beginning where I wrote in the notes when she said the first time. I was like, oh, she's very right.
She is right. She is right, but it's a sweet callback. I like it. Yes, those are my main ones.
I do have one more quote to add.
Oh,
that I kind of
please,
forgot.
please.
If you found out that you accidentally hacked into the Pentagon, what would your reaction be, and why would it not be whoopsie? Ma'am.
Ma'am, you're going to prison.
Yeah, especially like knowing how smart they are. She's got to understand the like
100%.
ramifications of this, not just oopsies.
That's so funny.
So good. This is a very quotable movie, which is interesting as well, given the fact that the writer basically has barely written anything ever.
Write us another movie.
Yeah. Let's see a reboot. Let's see the XC. What did he say?
The X36 that he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, what is the XC36? What is the X36? I have no idea, but it will be twice as good as the X18, obviously.
I know you do, like, you talked about some of like the favorite moments here. Do you guys ever do like a least favorite moment?
Oh yeah, Al does.
I mention them all the time. Do you want me to mention my least favorite moment? Because I know it.
I have this weird feeling. I think we might be in agreement. I'm excited
I don't know
for
if we do.
Oh.
My least favorite moment is kind of to Val's point of something not being real in the movie.
Okay.
So when the dad comes home and he's like, "Mom's out of town," and he goes, "She is." This man would know that his wife is gonna be out of town, and that is not realistic. That was my least favorite part.
I think
was that your least favorite part of it?
Nutty professor kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's sort of like
He's just so in his work.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm married. Mallory, what was your least favorite part? 'Cause I feel like you and I
have
are
a
aligned.
feeling we might have the same. Does it involve a ukulele?
Oh, it sure
the
does.
musical number.
It sure does.
Oh God. I love you like a love song, baby. There's something so different in this compared to other like TV musicals. You needed other people to join in. When it's just two people singing together and other people staring,
a huge crowd,
I was like, oh no, because I don't like that in real life. The idea of someone being like, "I wrote you a song," I'm like, no.
I would
didn't write you a
hate how
song.
I got proposed to freshman year of high school.
Selena Gomez wrote you a song 3 years ago, and I'm going to sing it to you. That's like, it's not like he had some original number either. He was like, she likes Selena Gomez. Watch this.
And they were practiced and harmonized. And yeah, the crowd that it drew was disproportionate to the quality of the performance. Like,
or the tomatoes that would have been thrown in real life.
Yeah, I wouldn't stop for that.
I wouldn't stop for that.
There was just, there was something there that I think they were trying to make it like, it's not only a romantic moment, but it's meant to be kind of a bit like cute and bumbling because they're, teenagers, whatever. But I no.
You're telling me this 25-year-old high school robot who's supposed to be the perfect boy has a like setting for Jason Mraz?
Yeah. I'm in trouble. No.
Oh my God. Not my MySpace song.
Amazing. My least favorite moment was the huddle.
Oh,
In
yeah.
case anyone was wondering.
I do like that they got a penalty called on them. I do like that the ref was like, what, delay a game.
What is this?
But also, like, the people in the huddle were not like, get the fuck out of here. Just
we're trying to play football.
Right. They're just like, hey guys, like, what's up? So that was, annoying to me. Amazing. All right. Anything else before we get on down to Spoiler City?
Let's go.
I don't think so. I think that's it.
All right. This podcast was produced by me,
And me.
and it was edited by me.
The music was composed by Michael McNally.
You can find us online at thetridentnetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod.
And you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at dcommentaries.
D-Commentaries is a part of the Trident Network. To learn more about our videos, live shows, and other podcasts, please visit thetridentnetwork.com.
Disney Channel original movies.
Damn it, Allie.